Hello there students. Today we will start a new chapter, that is chapter 13, page 164, competition and contestation in democracy. So our today's topic is competition and contestation in democracy. So in this chapter we are going to learn about the meaning and nature of political parties, their functions, and also we are going to learn about the numbers of different parties we should have, and also national political parties and state political parties and so on. So in this chapter we will particularly be focusing on political parties and how they compete with each other and contest election and tries to win the election so that they could form government and act as a ruling party. So first we will be focusing on necessity of political parties in a democracy. Political parties in a democracy is necessary because political parties are the lifeblood of a democratic polity. So in countries like India, we have a multi-party system where we have different political parties, and even if we travel to countryside and discuss politics with village folks, they will talk about various political parties, their leaders and their politics, although they may not know anything about our constitution and its provisions. And also, most of us tend to be very critical of political parties and blame them for all the wrongs in our society. They are blamed for conflicts, divisions, and unethical practices prevalent in our democracy and political life. And most of the countries have several political parties. So how did that happen? We shall discuss this in this chapter. But first we shall try to understand the meaning, nature, and functions of political parties. Who are political party? What is political party? Or what is the meaning of political party? A political party is a group of people who share common ideology and aim to form government by contesting elections and winning a majority of the contested seats. Each political party has a set of policies and programs declared publicly by election manifestos for promotion of good citizens. As the policies, programs, and ideology of different political parties are different, they try to seek and win popular support in an election to be able to implement them. Here we will find three essential components of political party. The three essential components of political party are: the first is the leaders, the second is the active members, and the third is the followers. So these are the three essential components of a political party. Now we will learn functions of political parties. The chief aim of a political party is to form the government at the center or in a state. So how do they form government? They try to form government by winning maximum number of seats for a legislature. And also now we will try to look at the first functions, that is contesting elections. Political parties, they put up candidates in various constituencies to contest an election. And in India, candidates are chosen by top leaders of a party who form a committee for selection of candidates after elections are declared. Whereas in USA and some other countries, members and followers of a party select the candidates. So contesting election is one of the functions of the political parties. The next is declaring different policies and programs. So each parties have a different set of ideology, policy, and program which it which they desires to implement after forming government. So the ruling party chooses the council of ministers which implements its policies and programs, and they have to be declared through an election manifesto at the time of election. Now the next is making laws for the country. Laws are made after the bills are debated and passed by legislatures by a majority. So the political parties who wins the election becomes the ruling party, and ruling party plays a pivotal role in deciding the nature and content of the laws. So it is the party which have won the election it plays an important role in deciding the nature and content of the laws. Thus, making laws for the country is also one of the functions of the political parties. The next is parties form and run government. So the majority party in a legislature forms the government. Big policy decisions of the government are taken by the cabinet committees on political affairs, economic affairs, foreign policy, etc. So top leaders of the party form the cabinet which runs the government. Now the next is role of opposition. So in a democracy there used to be an opposition, and in the opposition party, the parties which fail to form government play the role of opposition inside the legislature and outside. So they examine and criticize the government for its failures and wrong policies. They mobilizes public opinion and organize projects against policies of the government, price rise, bad law and order situation, etc. So it is the opposition party that plays an important role inside the legislature and outside. So the next is shaping public opinion. Opinion of public against in favor of certain issues and policies of the government can make the prospects of a ruling party in the coming election. So opposition parties plays an important role in formation of public opinion through organizing meetings, demonstrations, protests and distribution of posters and pamphlets, and by highlighting issues in the mass media. Now the last is providing people access to government machinery and welfare schemes. Here, an ordinary citizen finds it difficult to approach a minister or an officer. So when a party leader becomes a minister, he is easily approachable by members of the party. Only the members of the party can approach the minister. So a member of a ruling party can easily approach the government machinery through a local leader, say an MLA, an MP, member of parliament or a councillor. Welfare schemes launched by the government are made easily accessible to citizens by a party which is responsible to people's needs and demands. Now let us learn about number of parties we should have. There are a large number of political parties in each country. In India, more than 1,866 parties are registered with the Election Commission of India. But only 4 or 5 parties are actually in the race to win election and form government. So there are 3 types of party system. The first is multi-party system. Multi-party system is the most common type of party system, and in this system 3 or more parties have the capacity to gain control of government separately or in coalition. In this system, people form multiple distinct officially recognized groups called political parties, and each party competes and contests for votes. This system is essential for a representative democracy because it prevents a single party leadership from making policies and controlling the government without challenge. The next is two-party system. So in a two-party system, power shifts between two major dominant parties. In this system, to win election, the winner has to get the minimum number of votes, but not necessarily a majority of votes. The smaller parties usually merge with the bigger parties or they drop out of election. So such a party system prevails in the USA, United Kingdom and Canada, where only two parties win significant numbers of seats. So supporters of two-party system. This system, they believe that this prevents dangers of fragmentation, where too many parties winning seats from different constituency and the government can run smoothly. The next is one-party system. There is no competition in this system. In one-party system, there is no competition, and the alone party nominates the candidates, and the voters have only two choices, that is, not to vote at all or write yes or no against the name of the candidates nominated by the party. This system has been popular in communist countries and other authoritarian regimes. The countries following these systems are China, North Korea, and Cuba. Supporters of single-party system, one-party system, claims that this system, it enables the government to mobilize every citizen to use his talents and energize towards a common goal. However, single-party system limits the choices and freedom of the citizen. This system is not a good option as this is not a democratic option. So none of these three systems, as in multi-party system, two-party system, one-party system, none of these three systems is good or bad. No system is ideal for all countries and all situations. So party system is not selected or chosen by a country, but it evolves over a period of time depending on the nature of society, its social and religious division, its history of politics, and its system of election. Now let us learn about national political parties. So in most of the democracy, there are two kinds of political parties, that is national parties and state parties. In India, every party has to register with the election commission. Large parties are allotted an election symbol. They are given election symbol, and they are also given some privileges by the Election Commission of India, and such parties are called recognized political party. So a party that secures at least 6% of total votes in a Lok Sabha election or assembly election in any 4 states and wins at least 4 seats in the Lok Sabha is given the status of a national party. Whereas a party that secures at least 6% of the total votes in an election to the Legislative Assembly of a state and wins at least 2 seats is recognized as a state party. And in India, there are 7 national recognized party. So now let us have a look at the political parties at national level. The first is Indian National Congress, INC. So Indian National Congress is the India's oldest political party. It led the movement for for independence against the British rule, and after independence it became India's premier political party. INC maintained this position till the early 1990s. In the 5 general elections held in 1952, 1957, 1962, 1967 and 1971, the Congress virtually controlled the politics of the country. However, it lost its elections in 1977, but it made a comeback in 1980 under Indira Gandhi with a massive victory and reached its peak in the election of 1984. Now let us look at the next party, that is Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP. Bharatiya Janata Party, it was created in 1980 by reviving the erstwhile Bharatiya Jan Sangh. It is one of the two major political parties in India. It wants to build strong and modern India by drawing inspiration from India's ancient culture and values. Cultural nationalism or Hindutva is an important element in its conception of nationhood and politics. Bharatiya Janata Party (BJP) is strongly supported by Hindu organization, informally known as the Sangh Parivar League of RSS-led organization, in which the Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangha (RSS) plays a domineering role. Now let us look at Communist Party of India, Marxist CPIM. The Communist Party of India, usually known as CPIM, split from the Communist Party of India in 1964. It is the strongest in the states of Kerala, West Bengal and Tripura. It believes in the doctrine of Marxism-Leninism but accepts parliamentary democracy for securing the objectives of socio-economic justice for the downtrodden. It is critical of the new economic policies that allows foreign direct investment in India. It had been in power in West Bengal continuously for 30 years. In 2014 elections to the Lok Sabha, it won only 9 seats. It was a part of the previous UPA ruling coalition and at the center supporting from outside. So now the next is Communist Party of India, CPI. The date of the foundation of this party is 26 December 1925. It believes in Marxism, Leninism, secularism and democracy. On the national level, it supported the previous Indian National Congress-led United Progressive Alliance government but without taking part in it. So, along with other allies of the UPA, it formulated a common minimum program. This program obliged the government to discontinue disinvestment and pursue massive social sector outlays and an independent foreign policy. They are sensitive to the needs of the poor. They highlight the inspiration and concerns of the weak and the deprived, and went to implement policy of land and labor reform. Now we have Bahujan Samaj Party (BSP). The Bahujan Samaj Party is a party formed in 1984 to represent the interests of other backward classes, scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and religious minorities. The BSP was formed by two leaders, Kansi Ram and M.S. Mayawati. In the 13th Lok Sabha, it had 14 out of 545 members. The main base of the party is in Uttar Pradesh. It has led the government in Uttar Pradesh many times. It has an intense rivalry with another leading state party in Uttar Pradesh. The BSP draws inspiration from the ideas and teachings of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Sahu Maharaj, Mahatma Phule, and Periyar Ramaswamy Naikar. The next is Nationalist Congress Party (NCP). The Nationalist Congress Party (NCP) was formed in 1999 by Sharad Pawar, P.A. Sangma and Tariq Anwar. After they left the Congress Party, they had objected to a person of foreign origin becoming the Prime Minister of India. The NCP claims that it supports democracy, Gandhian secularism, equity, social justice, and federalism. NCP is a majority party in Maharashtra and has a significant presence in Meghalaya, Manipur, and Assam. The last one, All India Trinamool Congress (AITC). It is an Indian national political party based in West Bengal. It was founded in 1997 by M.S. Mamta Banerjee. It is currently the fourth largest party in the Lok Sabha with 34 seats. Its major objectives is to eradicate illiteracy, poverty, and injustice and cause upliftment of the downtrodden by ensuring social equality, awakening of the masses, and participation in the lawful electoral process. So these are the 7 political parties at national level.